Did you know that there are more neurotransmitters produced in your gut than in your brain? The gut actually is sometimes known as a second brain, and it produces a bunch of neurotransmitters from the gut bacteria and other things that live in our gut that affect our brain. So how does that matter? Well, we need to protect our gut and make sure it stays healthy. When we have an imbalance in our gut and those neurotransmitters get off, we start to see all kinds of problems. That could be mood swings, anxiety, depression, difficulty sleeping. So when we start seeing some of those problems, we want to look at the gut first, because that's easier to control than the production in our brain. So what we do is we go through and we do a weed, seed, and feed program. And what does that mean? So what we need to do is go in and break down these things called a biofilm. Now, biofilm is kind of like that yucky stuff you feel in your teeth when you first wake up. It's a film produced by bacteria to protect themselves. Now in our mouth, we use a toothbrush. We get it all off. In our gut, it's a little bit harder. Can't really shove a toothbrush down there. So what we do is we use some products to break down that layer to expose those bacteria that are producing these different neurotransmitters that are affecting our brain in a negative way. So we use a product called Biofilm Pro Balance. What that does, like I said, breaks that down. We pair that with gut flora complex. That's a bunch of different herbs that are designed to kill some of these bacteria and make it difficult for them to replicate. So we strip away their protection, we attack them. So that is the weed part. After that, we do some seeding. Now we use a probiotic and a prebiotic to do that. So the probiotic, think of that as like a grass seed. You're putting that down to fill in the patches that we just created by killing off those bad bacteria. And we're gonna replace it with these good bacteria. The prebiotic is essentially a food for them that only they can eat. Think of that as some fertilizer. Alongside of that, we're going to use multizyme. Multizyme is a bunch of different enzymes. And what that does is help you break down your food and get those nutrients in for those bacteria that help them grow and thrive around these other bad bacteria. And we're gonna cycle through several cycles of this. It's like a 10-day cycle on, 10-day off, and we go through it that way. That way we strip them, we let our good ones grow, we attack them again, kind of go through that. The goal of this is to not just correct the gut, but to correct the amount of neurotransmitters we have in our bloodstream and therefore our brain, and affect these issues we have inside of our head.